And awesome. All right, everyone. Let's jump right into it. Thank you guys for joining today. So really just going to be talking about kind of the future of fundraising events from an outsider's perspective with KC Crew. So first thing you may be wondering is, before we get into that, a quick overview of what we'll talk about today. So who is KC Crew, who we are, what we do, how we ended up in kind of the event or the fundraising event world, what we've learned in our short time kind of jumping into this world, and then really giving any advice we can on how we can help, provide feedback to put on awesome fundraising events. So first thing we'll jump into is who is KC Crew. So we are the Kansas City's largest adult recreational sports league. So we have over 15,000 active league players playing anything from sand volleyball, softball, kickball, basketball, cornhole, pickleball, darts, bowling, karaoke. So really any sport and any hobby, we do a league for it, but we play all over the city. And like I said, leagues are kind of our bread and butter. We also have an event side as well. So over our 10 years of existence, we've done pub crawls, 5Ks, tailgates, tournaments, virtual events, um, field days, really anything that's a fun event or a league for an adult to come out, have some drinks, enjoy some time with their friends and play some sports and meet new people. That's really what we're all about between the leagues and the event side. As far as the demographics go of really who plays in our leagues, so about 75% of our league demographic is the 25 to 34 age range. So um, that's crucial just because, that is the target age range for a lot of industries. And, the nonprofit realm is really not exempt from that because those are your future volunteers. They're your future board members. So we kind of have, hold on them and we know, what they want to do, what they want to come out to do, what's going to draw them in, what interests them. Um, how we really got into the fundraising events world is there was a tournament called Volley Llama that started a couple of years ago. We're going on year 3 this year in 2023, but at the heart of it, it's a pickleball tournament. It started up at the North KC Chicken and Pickle. The second year, it moved down to the South location. But again, it's all around just a simple pickleball tournament. However, they raised $300,000 in a single night, all around a pickleball tournament. So um, why we're involved with that is as KC Crew, we actually ran the pickleball portion. We ran the pickleball tournament of the event just because we're the events team. We were the logistics. We took all that off the plate of the nonprofit organization where we were basically their firefighters out there. So if something popped up or running registration or anything with the tournament, the nonprofit who should be enjoying themselves, having a good time, talking with their partners, talking with their sponsors, they get to keep doing that. We're the ones who dealt with all those fires. Um, but like I said, they raised over $300,000 in a Thursday night over a single pickleball tournament. So, how did they do that? They turned everything into a sponsorship. And before I jump into it, this tournament is kind of the gold standard of where I would like, I would like to see a lot of nonprofits move to. Um, but like I said, they turned everything into a sponsorship. So a team sponsor, a court sponsor, a tournament sponsor, a presenting sponsor. So every part, um, basically what they did is they rented out all of Chicken and Pickle. Um, and to even get in, put a team into the tournament, it was $5,000 for a team sponsorship, which came with a couple of tickets. So um, basically, if they were out fundraising, they got an organization to get a team sponsorship. They got to put a team in, plus they got to bring 4 members from their organization out to the event. So not only is it, they're participating in an awesome nonprofit event, it's also a team building event for them as well, which is an added benefit. And then from there, so you have your team sponsor, they have court sponsorships, tournament sponsor, presenting sponsor. And just so you all are aware, the sponsorship levels. So it started at $5,000 for a team, then 10,000 for a court. I think it was 15, and then 25 for tournament and presenting. So, like I said, this is kind of the gold standard of sponsorship events, and really, where we first got involved with it. So we saw the behind the scenes of how this was all done, and really the second part. So the amazing perks are what really drove that value up of all the sponsorships. So like I said, they rented out Chicken and Pickle. It was a private event, invite only. They had Royals, Chiefs, Sporting, local KC celebs out there from VIP meet and greet. So when you're paying $5,000 for a team sponsorship, you're bringing your team out. You get to participate in a VIP meet and greet. You get to meet Chiefs players, Royals players, Sporting players. Behind the event, they had Charlie Hustle, Chicken and Pickle, like I said, all these celebrities. So they had a pretty wide ranging network, which allowed them to go out, create this awesome opportunity, and then, really raise the dollar value on all these sponsorships. So again, like I keep saying, it was the gold standard. And after the event, we realized, we do these tournaments in our sleep, which again was what the entire event was all based around. So we thought, what's stopping us from going out to all these other nonprofit organizations, bringing our expertise to the table and helping take the logistics of the tournament off the nonprofit's plate, free up all their time to then flip that around and focus on the fundraising or sponsorship side. So had a whole lot of conversations with them, probably about 10 to 15 different organizations. And, we came in with these grand ideas of we can raise $200,000, $300,000 on, a single night. And, after these 10 to 15 different conversations, I kind of took a step back and realized, not every nonprofit has the network that this event had. Not everyone has Charlie Hustle, Boulevard, Sporting, Chicken and Pickle behind them. So kind of rerouted our talks a little bit, but I think the main idea is still the same, of creating awesome sponsorship opportunities, of what additional things can you add to the sponsorship to make it more worthwhile, make it more attractive for these partners and sponsors to come on out. And so as we entered into the nonprofit world, we really tapped into a lot of our nonprofit connections. So we talked with Support KC, we talked with Nonprofit Connect, we talked with Katie Lord, really just to make sure, we were doing everything right and our approach was correct, because, we want it to be a win-win-win for everyone. So a win for us as KC Crew, a win for the nonprofit organization, who should be, the prime focus of their mission. They should be, the fund. We want to maximize funds for them at the end of the day. So met with all of our connections there, and then started having these conversations. And a couple of things that we learned were, first and foremost, golf tournaments and the galas are dying. Every single person we talked to, the moment we would talk about the galas and the golf tournaments, they just kept shaking their head and saying, "Yep, they're slowly going away. We need something else." And organizations that still are putting them on, from what the conversations we had, where the numbers are just dwindling, sponsors are paying for spots in these events and then just not showing up. So the event still happens, but the experience isn't there because, it's only half the actual attendee numbers. There's a generational shift towards kind of the active, healthy lifestyle. And so that's really where we thought our expertise on the event side could really be a help for a lot of these nonprofits, just because we tap into that active, healthy lifestyle. Even if it's not us, I think that theme, again, of the active, healthy lifestyle is the new direction where events should be kind of focusing their shift on. And everyone is looking for new, unique, and exciting opportunities. And it's not just the attendees, it's also the sponsors. So sponsors who have been paying to sponsor a golf tournament or a gala for the last 5, 10, 15, 20 years, whatever it may be, they're getting tired of it, is what we've learned through all these conversations. And they're looking for these new, exciting opportunities. And another piece that we learned, talking to a couple different organizations, is, for a lot of nonprofits, it's tough to pull the trigger and actually outsource something that isn't really your expertise to someone else. So really biting that bullet and, bringing in an events team where, instead of spending 80% of your time trying to figure out how to run a golf or pickleball tournament or a cornhole tournament or a field day or a trivia event, bring in a team who can take all that 80% of your time off your plate for you. In addition, they also take all the day of operations off your plate, where then all your focus should be shifted towards the fundraising aspect, having the conversations, building your network, and securing partners who are going to be able to, provide the funds and support for you. So again, those three big bullet points: galas and golf tournaments are dying. It's time to start looking for new exciting events, and then just giving a consideration of, looking into the outsourcing of to an events team. So benefits of an events team, I kind of touched on them a little bit there. But one, again, it frees up your time. And I think that's my first one, because I think that's the most important. And I have a question for you all in regards to this at the very end, but just giving your time, instead of spending, 1, 2, 3, 4 hours trying to figure out the bracket or how we do team registration, that's, phone calls, visits, however you want to do your fundraising. It just redirects your time, frees it up for all that. Another important piece is the day of the event, you get to enjoy the event. And I touched on it earlier, but it's your event, it's your mission, it's your sponsors, it's your partners who you worked hard to get to come out there. You should be, from the moment you step onto the facility of wherever the event's at, you should be worry free. Your next concern should be, who should I talk to next, or what should I get to drink next? What should I have to eat? Not, oh, that team didn't show up. What do I do there? This person didn't show up. This thing's going wrong. What do I do? That's the events team who takes that all off your plate for you. And then the third thing is ensures the event will run smooth. Not saying, nonprofit events don't run smooth, but bringing in the events team, the expectation should be they know what they're doing. They're the experts. The event will run smooth. I get to enjoy myself. And they took, they freed up all my time. So I was able to make this, the fundraising side a success for, our organization. So what now? So really, starting from the bottom with the event, if you do decide to outsource to a team, it's choose what your event is and your date. So whether it's a cornhole tournament, a pickleball tournament, a field day, choose an event that's going to attract the younger demographic who are future volunteers and board members. On our end, just from our experience in, over the past couple of months with the nonprofit realm, the cornhole tournament, pickleball tournament, and field day have been kind of our three biggest ones. A large portion of it is because, one, pickleball is the hottest thing in the entire world right now, it seems. So everyone's attracted to them. Everyone wants to get into them. Cornhole tournaments and field days, and pickleball as well. Barrier to entry is also a big thing. So a golf tournament, the pool of people who are going to want to sponsor a golf tournament and enter a team into it is way slimmer than a team or a pool for a cornhole tournament, because you have to know what you're doing on a golf course. For cornhole, you pick up a bag and you throw it. That's it. So same thing with the field day. Same thing with pickleball to an extent. But I think aiming for events that are low barrier to entry and then are going to attract a younger demographic, again, who are your future volunteers and could be your future board members, is a big piece that I don't think a lot of organizations have thought about. We didn't think about it until one organization talked to us about it, and a kind of a light bulb went off where, that's just a whole another element to, switching up the events and bringing that younger demographic out. Next point, make sure to give yourself time to sell sponsorship. So from the date or from the time you pick your event and your date, we roughly say give yourself about 2.5 to 3 months to spend time going out, talking with partners, talking with sponsors, doing the fundraising, just to give yourself adequate time. And then third point, so customize your sponsorship opportunities. The more creative and unique sponsorships you can offer, the more attractive it's going to be. So just from I'll kind of give you some examples that we have done. So cornhole tournaments, people have done them in the past. People are going to do them in the future. It's how do you make your tournament stand out? So with us, we've been in the sports world for the last 11 years, and how we kind of put a unique spin on it is we have connections with custom board designers, bag designers, score tower designers. So we essentially assist with the sponsorship opportunity where, if we help create a board sponsorship opportunity for these cornhole tournaments. And we do have, a handful of conversations going on with a couple of different nonprofits, and I'll really just doing this as an example. But we say, if you can secure a board sponsor, We have a team that will go in, create your board design, we'll create a custom set of bags, a custom tower, all in that board sponsorships, company, whether it's their organization, their logo, their colors. We'll mock up custom designs for them. Those boards are used at the actual tournament. And then when that tournament's over, they pack those boards up and they take them home with them. So a piece of the event then lives on past, the end, past that day. So whether it's a company who takes the boards back to their office to play, during their free time, they always, they see the boards they're playing, they think back to the awesome event that they were a part of through those boards. And we kind of do the same thing with pickleball as well, where we do some court sponsorships with some custom paddles. So trying to think of any way to help make the event live on past it really, keeps you in focus for that organization who did sponsor or partner for that event. But yeah, so I think the general theme is the more custom you can get and the more unique you can get with your sponsorship opportunities, besides, just a sign or a banner or like a logo, the better, the more attractive it's going to be. So that was just one example that we did with cornhole, and that's been pretty popular. But yeah, so on our end, that was really all I had. I really just wanted to kind of, introduce you guys to who we were as the events, from an outside events perspective, and then talk you through kind of what our experience has been talking with different nonprofit organizations, whether they're, organizations that support nonprofits or the nonprofits themselves, kind of the big pieces that we learned, and then really where we see the shift in the fundraising events really going in the future.